Alright guys, if you couldn't already tell from the title of this video, it's a very different video than what I'm used to on my channel. You see, I don't normally talk about video games when it comes to my channel, but I think that might change because earlier over the past couple of weeks, I got the chance to play a very certain game, bought it, played through it twice, and now I really want to talk about. And that game is Resident Evil 7 Biohazard. Alright, I'll just put this right here for now. Let me tell you guys, I used to be a big gamer when I was younger, but for the past couple of years, I've really kind of taken a step back. I've gotten back into video games. And what I can say about Resident Evil 7 Biohazard is, although I've played through it twice, I want to play through it again, because this is without a doubt one of the best games I have played in the past few years. And it's an absolute masterpiece. Let me get into what I'm talking about here. Now, it might seem like I'm reiterating what other people have said because this game's been out for almost a year now, and I finally got the chance to play it. But what everybody else is saying is correct. Everything about Resident Evil 7 Biohazard is a near masterpiece. The sound design, the level design, the acting, the voice acting, the scares, the action, everything inside of it is just pure horror magnificence. Now, this is coming from somebody who's never actually played any of the Resident Evil games. I'm going to, trust me. I want to actually play through the other Resident Evil games because of what Resident Evil 7 Biohazard did. Let's get into it. Now, I could skip out on the plot because a lot of you probably already know what it is, but if there are those of you like me who had never heard of Resident Evil 7 Biohazard, I'll give you a bit of the plot. So, there is this gentleman named Ethan whose wife went missing about 3 years ago, and he gets an email from her telling him to pretty much stay away. However, he takes that as a sign that she is still alive, so he heads to Dulvey, Louisiana to the Baker estate. And that's when Resident Evil 7 Biohazard starts, and it grabbed me from beginning to end. First of all, I don't want to get into the technical aspects. I want to talk about straight into the Bakers, because the Bakers, what I took them as is representations of a family of some of the greatest horror villains ever created in cinema. We have Jack Baker, who is essentially an adult version or just another variation of Leatherface from Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Then we have Lucas, the son in the family, and he is essentially the teenage version of who would become the man of Jigsaw. And then there's Margaret, and me personally, I took her as an interpretation of the Wicked Witch of the West, except with more bugs. But all of these bosses, all of these Baker family, they are terrifying in their own unique way. They are well developed. The voice talent is on point. And every time they're on screen, whenever you have to go up against them or you're just trying to avoid them, they're truly terrifying. I can remember there were a few points during the game where I literally jumped and I threw the paddle up in the air because I have a PS4. I threw the paddle up into the air and I grabbed it quickly because these guys, they terrified me. And the tone that comes with these characters, that comes with the overall game of Resident Evil 7 Biohazard, is what makes it strive. The tone in Resident Evil Biohazard is some of the best tone I have seen in horror anything in quite some time. I think it's probably since the Conjuring films that such great horror tone has been captured. And it's just thoroughly well established, well executed, so that when you're wandering around the house as Ethan, although you're looking around, you have that utter sense of dread the entire time you are playing it. And of course, no spoilers for those of you who haven't had the chance to play Resident Evil 7 Biohazard as of yet, but yes, there are two sections of this game. And I know I've heard a few people have problems with the second half of this game, but honestly, personally for me, the story in Resident Evil 7 Biohazard I felt was as perfect as it can be. From beginning to end, I had an utter blast playing this game. But of course, talking about the story and all the scares and stuff, that's great, but we should probably talk about the gameplay. So the gameplay in this, I can't say I've ever played a game like this. I've never played a first-person shooter like this before. So basically in the game, the reason why I really, really loved it is that if you're not careful, you will get various items, bullets, guns, pretty much what you need to take out the bakers throughout the entirety of the game. But if you're not conservative, if you don't try to hold on to the items that you do have and not be wasteful, then you will be in a world of hurt. I remember there was a point where I got pretty much a Glock pistol and a 12 gauge shotgun. And I went on a certain boss, I went through all the bullets that I had and I was left with a knife. And at that point, it was just run until the boss I was going against just flat out killed me. So advice from me to you, if you haven't played this game yet, be conservative with as many of the items as you can. Now, although there are limited things throughout the game, there is generally always help that comes along at a certain point where you'll be able to stock up on more of the stuff that you lost. But still, my advice, be as careful as you can. However, guys, coming from somebody who has never played a Resident Evil game, I don't think I've really ever played a survival horror or a horror game in general. Resident Evil 7 Biohazard is fantastic. Like I said, this game is a masterpiece from top to bottom. I really have no more words to describe it. If you haven't had a chance to play Resident Evil 7 Biohazard, pick it up as soon as you can. It is a game that's worth playing, from performances to locations to everything. Oh yeah, and there were several times while I was playing the game that I actually thought that I was in a legitimate real location. It looked like live action at certain points. It was ridiculous. And as far as ratings go, I don't think I'm going to generally rate the games. I might decide to rate them as time goes on, but we will definitely see about that. But as of right now, guys, I can't say any more highly. Go pick up Resident Evil 7 Biohazard. Go pick it up. And alright, that's the end of my review for Resident Evil 7 Biohazard, guys. So, what did you think? What did you think of my first real video game review? Honestly, things aren't perfect. There are a few bugs that I want to work on, but the way I see it, if you wait until you want everything to be perfect, you're never going to be able to get where you want to go, and you're never going to start. So I figured I'd start now. As messy as this review might seem, I figured I'd put it together so you guys could know my thoughts on one of my favorite games of all time. And because, well, tomorrow, you guys are going to be getting my analysis for Resident Evil 7 Biohazard. That's right, along with every video game I review, you guys are going to be getting an analysis of the game as well. So, guys, whatever your thoughts are on Resident Evil 7 Biohazard or this review or whatever on your mind, leave it down in the comments section below so we can get a conversation started. And if you guys are new and you like what you've seen here, be sure to click right there and subscribe and become part of the fray of nerds who love cinema. And in this case, I guess video games. And you all have a fantastic day.